Greetings and sanitation film fans, Thomas L here. With the new Child's Play film opening this week, I decided to do my ranking of the Chucky movies. I'm a big Chucky guy. I love the Chucky movies. I know lots of people, poo-poo on the sequels and all, but I don't care. I really love them. I love watching them. I have a good time with these films. I think Chucky is probably one of my favorite horror film villains. He's such an icon. He's a great character. He does a lot of killing. I mean, who doesn't love good old Chucky just killing people? And like I said, I really love the movies that Chucky's been in. So, with that being said, here's my ranking of the Chucky films. Alright, coming in at number 7 will be Curse of Chucky. Now, this movie was like a straight to DVD sequel, and it takes place 25 years after the events of the first Chucky film and 9 years after the events of Sea of Chucky. And in it, Chucky ends up mysteriously arriving in the mail at the home of Nika Pierce, who's a paraplegic, and her mother named Sarah. So later that night, Sarah ends up Sarah is found like dead from a stab wound, and her death is ruled as a suicide later. But then Nika is visited by her sister Barb, who's pretty much accompanied by her husband Ian, as well as their daughter Alice, and as well as a live-in nanny named Jill, and Father Frank, who's of course a pastor. And of course Alice ends up finding Chucky, and of course the daughter Alice ends up finding Chucky, and it starts like. Throughout the whole film, it starts to become like a female version of Child's Play. Like, she ends up being like a female version of Andy, if you really want to look at it that way. And so, like, that evening, while they're, and they, pretty much, Chucky ends up, terrorizing that whole household. And the kills in this are gruesome. I think probably one of my favorite kills is actually. Alright, I'm gonna get a little spoiler territory. Some of these videos are gonna get a little spoiler territory, so. But I really like this one kill that happens to pretty much the father Franken. His death is pretty gruesome. I don't want to go into spoiler territories of how he died or anything, but yeah, I mean, I thought I know lots of people didn't really all that much care much for Curse of Chucky, but I thought it was really fun. It was like I said, it had some really cool kills in it. And by the way, the girl who plays Nika, she's actually that girl's name is Fiona Dorff, who, by the way, is the daughter of Chucky himself, Brad Dorff. So there's a little tidbit for you. And this Chucky, of course, terrorizes the little girl in this, kind of like he used to do with Andy. I also like some of the actors in this. I mean, of course, the acting wasn't top notch, but let's be for real. We don't go to watch these movies for the best acting. I mean, come on. We go into these movies for fun, for entertainment. I don't care much about the acting in these type of movies. But yeah, Curse of Chucky was. I mean, I still sort of wish it, went to theirs, but it was still a pretty decent film, and yep. Alright, coming in at number 6 will be Child's Play 3. Now, this film takes place after, a couple years since the events of Child's Play 2. And this time around, Chucky is once again going after an adult Andy who's pretty much who now attends a military school. And by the way, they actually recast Andy for Child's Play 3, because of course the kid who once played Andy was still a kid by the time this movie was released. So obviously they can't have a kid going to military school. So they cast like this other actor named Jason Weiland, and it actually took me a while to really realize that was a different actor, by the way. And I really like Child's Play 3. I mean, it is probably the weakest out of the Child's Play films, but I still really enjoy it. It has some pretty cool kills in us. I probably one of my maybe one of my favorite kills is probably the barbershop scene. I don't like if you guys seen Child's Play 3, you know what scene I'm talking about. I mean, Chucky does not play at all in this, and it had some really like I said, I love the kills in this, and it was something also different. Like you don't really see many horror movies that takes place in a military school, you know. So I thought that was pretty cool to watch, like a different type of horror film set in like a military environment. You don't really see many of those. So yeah, but also the kid who played Andy, Justin Whalen, he was okay, but I still think the other actor, Alex Vincent, played Andy a little better. But he was still pretty decent in this, and I really like Child's Play 3. You know, it was, like I said, it was fun, it was entertaining. Definitely a really good one. I mean, I still own Child's Play 3 on DVD. I got like a box set of the Chucky movies. I watch this movie whenever I can. It's a really good one. Alright, coming in at number 5, it's going to be a non-popular opinion. I don't care what anyone says. My number 5 pick is Seed of Chucky. Now, this is more of a guilty pleasure of mine, but I simply love Seed of Chucky. I mean, this time around, you got Chucky and Tiffany, who has a kid in this named Glenn and Glenda, who is also named after a classic of a classic like Ed Wood film from the 40s or I think 40s or 50s or something. So I found that pretty cool there. And this time around, you got Jennifer Tilly, who's voicing both Tiffany, and she's playing like she's pretty much playing like a version of herself. And a few other people, like you got Brad Dourif back, you got John Waters was also in this, and he had a really gruesome scene, like a really gruesome death scene. I love John Waters, his little cameo. He also had an actress playing Britney Spears in this. That was pretty funny. Redman was here. I mean, the Redman, actually, out of all the scenes, I think the Redman death scene was the most gruesome. And this movie was also pretty funny. It, like I said, it was entertaining. Yeah, it was pretty dumb, but it was still a pretty good one. Alright. Alright, coming in at number 4 will be Cult of Chucky. This time, this film is a follow-up to Curse of Chucky, and this time around, you got the human victim. You got pretty much the character Nico, who's once again back, and this time, she's like in a asylum because she's pretty much been accused of the murders that was talked about that was set in Curse of Chucky. And this time around, you got Chucky, who's pretty much who got mailed. Actually, this time around, you got Jennifer Tilly back in this, and this time around, you have her pretty much mailing, like sending Chucky to the asylum. And of course, Chucky does lots of killing. I mean, I think out of all the Chucky movies, this has the most goriest kills I've seen in any of the Chucky films. I mean, yeah, I don't want to go into any spoiler territories of the kills, but yeah, the kills in this was pretty cool to watch. And this time around, you got not one Chucky, but you got thousands of Chuckies in this. I mean, this film was like if you're a Chucky fan, this film was a Chucky galore. And I mean, crazy that Brad Dourif actually lended his voice to pretty much almost all the Chuckies in this. I mean, boy, that must have been some hard work right there. But hey, Brad Dourif, he's a king. I mean, I love Brad Dourif. And his daughter, Fiona, is actually a pretty decent actress. I thought she was great in this. And some of the other actors, the acting wasn't all great, but like I said, I don't really go in these movies for great acting, I just go in to watch these movies for a good time, and the acting, I don't care much about. But, yeah, and not to mention, this time around you had Alex Vincent back as Andy. And it was pretty cool seeing Alex Vincent back as that character. I mean, like I said, the actor who played Andy in Child's Play 3, he was okay, but Alex Vincent still played the role much better. And the ending, like I'm still hoping, like I know we're probably if the new Child's Play does well, we're probably going to see a new I guess sequel to that, and we're of course getting a Chucky show. I'm still hoping we see a follow up to Cult of Chucky because the ending left off with a cliffhanger, and I really want to see how that cliffhanger resolves. So, all right, coming in at number 3 is Bride of Chucky. Now, this time around, Chucky is pretty much resurrected by Tiffany, played by Jennifer Tilly. And Tiffany is actually the ex-girlfriend of Charles Lee Ray, so who's of course was planted in Chucky, which either that was a cool twist right there. And so of course pretty much Chucky becomes a flashaway with her, and in order to like be with her, he decides to kill Tiffany and put her soul in the female doll, and that's how Tiffany became who she was. Bride of Chucky is also pretty much a guilty pleasure of mine. It is a really fun one. I mean, it's like pretty much a Chucky version of Frankenstein. Remember Bride of Frankenstein, Bride of Chucky, and this also has some really gruesome kills, especially the scene with John Ritter. Oh, I'm actually surprised they even got John Ritter to be in this because he did not look like a horror type actor. So it was pretty cool seeing John Ritter here. And you also had Katherine Heigl, who Catherine, we could say what we ever want about Katherine Heigl now, but I thought she was okay in Bride of Chucky. I gotta admit, I'll be down to see her do another horror film, because she's actually not all half bad when it comes to horror. Like, she was in this, she was in Valentine. She needs to do another horror, like another film in the horror genre, because she was actually pretty good in Bride of Chucky. And the one who played like her boyfriend in this was pretty good. You also had Alexis Arquette, who of course by then was a male. By the time this film got released. And yeah, like I said, the kills was pretty cool. Yeah, and it also was like a road trip movie as well. It's a really good one. I mean, if you guys haven't seen Bride of Chucky, check it out. It's a really fun film. Alright, coming in at number 2 will be The First Child's Play. Now, this movie got released in 1988. Boy, this movie turned... Dang, it turned 31. It turns 31 this year. Wow. And this is like the first installment. Like, this film is the first installment of the Chucky movie, and it, of course, was the film that really captured the franchise. It's a really good one. I mean, Brad Dourif, of course, played both Charles Lee Ray and Chucky. And in it, Charles Lee Ray, of course, ends up getting killed, and he plants his soul inside the dog. And that's how Chucky became who he was. I mean, I think it's one of the best horror origin story there is. It's a really good one. I mean, like the kills in this was pretty cool. I mean, the first ever kill was, of course, where that lady Maggie ends up falling off a building and crashing the car. That was the first ever kill in the Chucky movie. Well, I guess if you count Charles Lee Ray's stuff, but I never really count that one because he ends up getting implanted in the doll. So technically, the character's not full on dead because his soul lives on in the doll. So I still never count Charles Lee Ray's death as the first Child's Play death. But if you really want to count as if you really want to look at it, this is pretty much like Maggie's pretty much Chucky's first kill. So I guess you could count that way. But and also, of course, you got the debut of Alex Vincent as Andy. Catherine Hickson, of course, played the mother in this. Not to mention, you had Chris Sarandon, who played the detective Mike Norris, who, by the way, of course, is played by Brian Tyree Henry in the remake. I just love the original Child's Play. It's actually in my top 10 favorite horror movies of all time. It's a great one. It's fun. It's entertaining. It is really creepy. I mean, yeah, the first Child's Play, it always holds a place in my heart. And, yep, such a really good one. Alright, now I probably could have added Child's Play as number 1. But I admit, my favorite Chucky movie, my favorite films out of the Chucky films, it's Child's Play 2. I mean, I think this is seriously one of the rare sequels that's actually better than the original. I just love Child's Play 2. I mean, this time around, you've got Andy who's living in pretty much like a foster in like a foster care unit because his mother actually is like in a psych in a psychiatric what I believe the actress Catherine Hicks didn't really want to like come back or something, so that's kind of why that storyline happened. I just really love this film. I mean, I seriously call it the Empire Strikes Back of the Chucky movies. You know how the Empire Strikes Back is better than the original Star Wars film? That's kind of why I call it Child's Play 2 the Empire Strikes Back of the Chucky films. It's really great. I mean, especially the end scene with Chucky, with of course Chucky and not Chucky, with Andy and Kyle in the toy factory at the end. That scene is such an awesome scene. And by the way, the actress who plays Kyle, Christine Elise, she is great as well. I think she's great as the character of Kyle, and it was pretty cool seeing her come back in Coat of Chucky. I thought that was a pretty cool cameo to watch. Yeah, I love Child's Play 2. I mean, I could watch out of all the Chucky movies. This is actually the one I could really watch over and over and never get tired of it. It's a great one. To me, it's the best out of the Chucky movies, and yeah, I mean, definitely a really good one. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. Number 7, Curse of Chucky. 6, Child's Play 3. 5, Seed of Chucky. 4, Coat of Chucky. 3, Bride of Chucky. 2, Child's Play. 1, Child's Play 2. Now, let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite out of the Chucky movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Tom Still signing off.